Hey y'all, hey, it's me. I don't know what happened. I saw my thing was saying 17, but I didn't understand. I plugged the thing in and it just shut off. So, but I'm back. I'm back. And I'm better than before. I don't know if I'm better than before, but I'm back. Okay. With my part 2 of the review recap of Harlots, episode 6, season 1 on HULU. So, I think that where we left off is we left off with Sir George raping his new piece of property, baby girl, little sis Lucy, in her room, and her stabbing him with a knife from breakfast when she was sent to her room earlier by head harlot in charge, Kitty. Is that where we left off? I hope that's where we left off. And, you know, he goes out into the hallway and blood is gushing from his tummy. I didn't think he could speak, but I guess he was just so shocked and, you know, and maybe he couldn't speak for a moment. But it's kind of like North comes and Mama comes and somebody else comes and realizes what's going on, and they get him back into the room. And it's basically like, well, what happened? What did you do to her? You must have done something to her. And Sir George is like, nothing. She's crazy. And Mama Wells is like, stay here or you'll bleed out. We'll go get a doctor. And then she sends maybe Kitty, the head harlot in charge, go get a doctor. Go get a doctor. And then she goes out in the hall to Kitty and she's like, don't get a doctor. Don't get a doctor. And Kitty is like, if we don't get a doctor, he's gonna die. And Mama Wells is like, if you get a doctor, then Lucy is gonna hang. Don't get a doctor. Don't get a doctor. So everything must go on as normal, says Madam Mama Wells, and tell the coachman that Sir George is going to stay for the day. Make sure he leaves. So Sir George, meanwhile, back in Lucy's room, Sir George is like, I want Hexby. Go get my man. I want Hexby. Get the doctor. He want to have people around him who he trusts, because he don't trust these women. What does that little boy say, Chris Brown? These hoes ain't loyal. They ain't loyal to him. I'll tell you that. And he can sense that. He may be an asshole, but I guess he ain't dumb, even on his deathbed. And Madam Ladybug, Madam Wells has poured some drugs and some water. I don't know if she's trying to kill him quick or if she's trying to soothe him, you know, into his death or what. But he won't take the water. And North is like, we have to call a surgeon. And the justice will have mercy on Lucy. She's just a child. And Mama is like, she's a harlot. Like, no one has mercy on a harlot. No one understands, you know, the plight, especially the how can you rape a harlot? You know, he had sex with her twice, you know, and you know, who is she? She's, you know. So anyway, then we see there's banging at the Wells brothel door in the midst of all of the mess, and North answers the door, and it's Madam Quigley, and she is looking for her property, Emily Lacey. And North is like, you beat her, we gave her comfort, and we sent her away. Or maybe Madam Wells tells him that. And we told her that we wanted no conflict with you, Quig. And Quig is like, your neck is red. It always turns red when you lie. And we see a big blotchy spot on her chest neck area. And she says, your skin is florid with deceit. So Madam Quigley's spidey senses are up. She knows something is going on, but she's so focused on this Emily Lacey thing, she think that's what's going on. She don't even know. And then she leaves. She yells, Emily Lacey! You know, like, come down here. And then she says she tried to kill Charles. And Madam Wells is like, oh, I'm sorry. And then Quig is like, consider yourself under siege. She mad. And then Quig goes to Scamwell's place. And I guess Scamwell's place has a good view of Madam Wells' door. And so she sees, Madam Quigley sees Charlotte arriving at the Wells brothel. Lucy comes to her bedroom door in the meantime where Sir George is bleeding out. And she says, I'm sorry. And he says, you should be manacled and branded mean. Even on his deathbed, he mean, and he has no, he feels no responsibility at all for what happened, because she's just a harlot. So, and he just bought her so he can do whatever he wants to her. And then Lucy runs away from him, cursing her. And they're trying to keep, the business of the brothel going as usual. The Wells brothel, they want to keep business as usual. So only North, Madam Wells, Lucy, and I guess Kitty, the head harlot in charge when Madam Wells is not there, knows what's going on. And then Charlotte comes in, so now she knows. And she's like, what's going on? And she's like, you sold him, Lucy? That's what she says to her mother. How much did you get? You are vile. And her mama is like, get Nancy for me, please. Please just help me. And then Sir George, he's in the background. Where is the surgeon? You'll sit here and watch me die. And then the mom comes over, Mama Wells, and she's like, no. And she's so sweet and she's so comfortable. And she strokes his head or his chest, and she's so soothing. And then she straddles him and she chokes him. And he fights. He fights, but she kills him. And North comes in and he sees that Sir George is dead. And the mama says, it's my murder now. It'll be me who'll burn. And I think I heard Madam Quick talking about somebody burning for the virgin girls getting killed. So I guess they burn people in them days for criminal activity. If it's my murder now. I'll be the one who burns. I did it for Lucy. And then Mama Wells is looking out of the window, and she sees Madam Quigley watching from the window across the way. I thought that was going to mean something, but it didn't seem to mean anything. And then we're still in the midst of the mess at the Wells brothel, and North opens the door to Lennox, who's come for his money. And he leaves him on the doorstep. You wait out here. And the newly freed fake wife is finishing up with a client. She's escorting the client out. And who does she run into on the doorstep but Lennox? Lennox says, I'm going home to Virginia. And the free fake wife says, my children? What about my children? And Lennox says, you may purchase them until tomorrow. But he don't mean that. And the free fake wife sees North coming, and he's bringing the money to pay off the Wells debt to Lennox. And she says, North, please pay for my children. Don't let him take them as slaves. Don't let him take them back to America, or whatever she says. And then North offers up the money for the fake wife Harriet's children. And Lennox says he's not taking the money. He's just looking at it. He says, when my mother was on her deathbed, you whored yourself to my father. He sent me away because of you. Your mongrels are mine by law. And then the free fake wife is freaking out. And then she says, help me, please. I think she's talking to North. Don't let them take me. Don't let them take them. Don't let them take them. And then North is like, calm down, calm down. The business of the house must go on. You have my word. I won't let him take your kids. Now, I need your help. Just go on with business as usual. So, this little Lennox, I guess I do understand, but I don't understand because this woman was enslaved. She was a slave. She is not a fully consenting person who is of their right mind with all their options making decisions. She's in a fucked up situation, being enslaved, being forced to work, being vulnerable to being killed, beaten, tortured, having her labor stolen from her, who knows what other horrors and things she's experiencing. And she's just trying to make a situation work. And that's like from that little boy's perspective, Lennox. We don't know what the real situation was. Because she was quote unquote owned by his father. So his father could do whatever he wanted. There was no way for her to impose her will on him because the context, it's all his will being imposed on her. Okay, so now we see Quig is still watching Wells from the Scamwell room. We know her name is Scamwell, but I still like Scamwell. In Wells, the Wells door is knocked by Nancy, the S&M lady in the pirate hat, and Scamwell is taunting Quigley. I am free of you. There are no secrets between my daughter and me now. I can smell your fear. And Scamwell threatens her daughter unless Quigley threatens Scamwell's daughter, meaning, I'm going to have her raped and her virginity taken unless you stay on the job. And again, you working for these scandalous people. How do you trust them? How do you have a deal when you under duress? How is it a viable or valid deal when you scared for your daughter's, life and safety? I don't know. I don't understand. Okay, keep going. So we're in Lucy's room, and Nancy comes in. She takes the rings off of Sir George's fingers, and they move. She says, we'll move him in the dark. And Lucy and Mama hug over the dead body of Sir George. And I say, bye. I don't care worth a damn that he's dead. I'm happy that he's dead, especially because he's a fake character on a fake show. But all that he represents, may it die 1,000,000 times over, along with his symbolic death in Harlots on HULU. That's how I feel about Sir George. We're not even going to have a repass for him. Some people on YouTube, they be having repass for characters and be talking about what you gonna bring. The only thing that I'm going to bring to the funeral is spit, so I can spit on his grave. But he doesn't have a grave that we know of yet. Okay, so in the bar, Charlotte finds her Irishman, and she asks him, were you earnest about the offer that you made for us to go away to America the last time? And then we're back in Scamwell's room, and Scamwell is asking Quigley, what is your obsession with Wells really about? You watch. It is not hate. It's love. And Quigley rushes out, and she's mad. And she tells daughter Scamwell to watch the Wells brothel for Emily Lacey all night. And the daughter is like, no. And Quig is like, I will tell your mother that you kiss black harlots if you don't watch that window all night for Emily Lacey. Okay, so that's the end of that scene. Then we see Shar and her Irishman, and he's like, we need money. What have you got? And Shar is like, what's on my back? And the Irishman is like, what about your jewels, your gifts, your savings? And Shar is like, nada. Charlotte's like, nada, I ain't got nothing. And then the Irishman is like, but he owes you. And Charlotte is like, I couldn't get a thing. And the Irishman is like, we're going to take what we're owed. Okay, and then they get the body dressed. We're back at the brothel with the Wells brothel, and they have Sir George dressed. They put his clothes back on and got his hat on, and they're dragging him out. One on each side, kind of pretending that he's drunk. And Quig is there. And when they open it, when Madam Margaret Wells goes to open the door, Quig is there, and she's like, you trying to take Emily Lacey out of here? You trying to sneak her out in the night? And the Mama Wells is like, Emily Lacey is not here. And the Quigley is like, well, where is she? And Wells is like, she's at Nancy's. And Quig is like, good girl, you always tell Mama the truth. And then the fancy guy is peeking, and Scamwell's daughter is watching as they drive the dead body of Sir George away in a carriage. So I had no idea that Margaret Wells was the daughter of Quix. That's deep. Is that true? Did I understand that correctly? So her brother is Charles, and little baby girl Lucy and baby girl Charlotte are the grandchildren of Quix. Okay. Dang, it's like generations and generations of, lack of options and trying to create, opportunity out of what they got, working with what they got. So then we see Charlotte at Sir George's with the Irishman, and she says, I have come for my things. And I think it's Hexby. And he says, you do not live here. And then Charlotte says, let's go. And then Hexby implies that Charlotte is a hoe. And the Irishman punches him. And the series is called Harlots. I mean, so I don't know, you know, why the Irishman. I mean, maybe it's the implication that she enjoyed having sex with him and wanted to have sex with him. But I mean, the fact that she has sex with people, that's their business. So to call somebody a hoe in the world of harlots, I mean, you ain't really saying nothing. Okay, so then we have Emily Lacey, and she has finally gotten back in the swing, and she's servicing a client. And what happens? But Quix's men, they come and they snatch her up from Nancy's house. And Emily is like, "Who told you I was here?" And Quig is like, "Your dear friend, Margaret Wells." So I predict that that's going to cause, you know, some drama. That's going to make Em feel like she already felt like mad at Margaret Wells and like she couldn't go back to her. But now she's really going to be mad at her. And she's going to be isolated in Quig's house because the son Charles is not going to be on her side. Or maybe she's going to be able to get the son Charles on her side. I don't know. So I don't know. Predictions. It's like a stressful thing, these predictions. I'm just watching the show. I don't know what's going to happen. That's why I'm watching the show. That's good, though, because it's not predictable. A lot of this stuff, I didn't see it coming. So we see, we're at a bar, and we see Shar and Irish, and they're like, "So, we have nothing." And they're like, "Just the treasure, that is us." And then they have sex, and they make a point of saying that there's no money in the room. So that means that their sex and their relationship and their love is real, and it's not just for pretend. It's not just for pay. It's not pay for play. It's just play for play. Okay, so then we see Lucy making the bed, and Mama Wells is tirade because it's been a long day. All this happened in one day, a very stressful and intense day. And then we see Lucy scrubbing the floor. We see we see North carrying Sir George's body out of the carriage, and Nancy, the S&M lady, and North's son is on the horse, and the son is like, "Is he asleep?" And North is like, "Yeah." And then North drags the body, and he sends the body floating down the river. So listen, do you think that Charlotte and the Irishman are going to go to America on the same boat to Virginia on the same boat that Lennox is going on? Are the children going to be on the boat? I don't think they're going to get those children. North gave his word, and he seemed so sincere and serious, like he had an answer. But how is he going to solve that problem? I think those children are going to be on that boat, and they're going to have some interaction with Charlotte. That's my prediction. That's another one of my predictions. Okay, so that's all I got. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, commenting, and subscribing. What are your predictions? What do you think is going to happen? Ah, what a day. What a day. It's just a stressful day in a whorehouse. It's hard out here. What's that song? It's hard out here for a pimp. Was it hard out here for a pimp? But it's hard out here for a harlot. It's woo, y'all. All right. Thank you. Be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous you. Bye.